Hey, trumpet players, Jeff Lewis here, and today we're going to talk about nerves and anxiety. Here's my big tip. Don't fight it. Embrace it. I know that's the contrarian view, but you can't control it. Why fight something you can't control? Worry about the things that you can control, like your air. So, let's say you've got a big solo coming up and it's seconds away from your big moment where you're going to be really exposed, or maybe it's some really soft passage. And it's coming up, and here come those nerves. You go, oh boy, here we go. Here come the nerves. And you're like, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm not going to be able to play. And all these weird thoughts go through your head. And most of them are destructive, not constructive. Well, what you can do is focus on your air, because your legs are going to start shaking. Your hands might start shaking. And the first thing that goes when you start to get nervous is your air support. So go ahead, take that big full breath, and if you can, concentrate on your air, right? So if you're concentrating on your airflow and the compression and what needs to happen in order for you to play the exercise or the excerpt or the little passage, what may have you, that will usually get you through your nerves. And then all of a sudden you may even realize, hey, I'm not even nervous anymore. And this is all going on as you're playing, which is always kind of weird. But as you're playing, you're going, I'm not nervous anymore. And then you can focus on the music. Ideally, in a perfect world, you're going to be concentrating on your music, right? You're going to be trying to play with as much beauty and sound or power or whatever it takes, depending on the passage that you're playing, right? And the style in which you're supposed to be playing, right? You want to concentrate on the music, your tone, etc. But these dirty little nerves come in and they disrupt everything, your concentration, your sound, and usually because you start shallow breathing, right? You're all nervous, you take these little tiny breaths, and next thing you know, the sound isn't coming out, or maybe you flub a couple notes and you're in this downward spiral. So if I could suggest, focus on your air, because you can control the air. Here's a second weird little tip I'm going to give you. When I was in high school, I had this solo, and it was a pretty lengthy solo in high school, went up to high C. Okay. I would often get cotton mouth. So it feels as if my mouth was full of cotton balls, or I just had no saliva at all. Okay. And when this happened, I couldn't play at all. Nothing would come out. My lips wouldn't buzz. Everything would shut down. So after having two disastrous solos, I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy one of those little plastic lemons from Safeway or wherever, and then put a few drops on my tongue. And the next solo, before I had to play, I did that real quick. And I kind of did it on the sly. Man, the salivation glands went, and I played great. So I had the saliva to get through it, and I kind of conquered that little thing. And eventually, I didn't need the little plastic lemon bottle any longer, because I wasn't nervous. The other thing you can do, and I got this from Alan Vizuti's book, is that you can scrape your tongue against your teeth like this, and that gets the salivation glands going. So that's another way of doing it. If you don't want to bring a little, lemon cup up on stage, it might look kind of weird. But, you do what you have to do. So if you're getting cotton mouth, those are two tips that you can use to eradicate that situation. Here's the third tip. Embrace it. Accept it. In fact, here's something that's a little weird I did last time I got nervous. I was thinking, well, what can I learn from these nerves? What good can come from being nervous? And I thought, well, I'm going to learn to play really nervous. So, there are levels of being nervous. And I was getting nervous and more nervous. And I went, bring on the nerves. It was really weird. I said, bring them on. I want more nerves. I want to be as nervous as possible so that I can play in whatever condition that my body is going to be in. Okay? Bring on the nerves. More nerves. I want to be able to play in every situation. Okay? And something weird happened. Before I was playing my solo, I was kind of telling myself, I want more nerves. I want to be more nervous. I started to get less nervous. It was really weird. I was some kind of weird ninja mind trick. I don't know. I've never heard of this before. But I thought, I can't control the nerves. Why not learn how to play being nervous? The last thing is, I heard of a story of somebody in one of the major symphonies preparing for his audition. So what he did in order to deal with being nervous was he used to drink a lot of caffeine, run around the block, sit down, and start playing. Running around the block and having some caffeine run through your system, that would kind of assimilate being nervous. Okay? I don't know how his audition went, but that kind of made sense to me. What happens when you get nervous? Your heart starts beating really fast, right? Can't control it. Maybe your hand starts shaking. Maybe your body actually starts shaking. Learn to play being nervous. If you get in cotton mouth, I gave you a couple tips for that. If you're shaking a little bit, focus on your air, okay? And then that will tend to have a snowball effect. And all of a sudden you start playing better, and then you start realizing I'm not nervous anymore. Now I can concentrate on the music, okay? So, disclaimer, if you have a problem with caffeine, that might not be the thing for you. But you could probably do a bunch of jumping jacks, get your heart going, sit down and see if you can play. That might help. But let's face it, you cannot control the nerves, so embrace them.